What up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Living a Dream TV. My name is Bansky, and what you're about to hear is a pre-recording on the morning of March 27th, 2016 that I made right before I went to work. While this dream was still fresh in my mind, it was a very strange dream. First time I've ever dreamed of the event of so-called the Rapture, catching up of the bride, as well as the AntiChrist, and it was very profound and very abnormal. I wasn't sure. I was very hesitant to share this because I wasn't sure if it was from the enemy or from the Lord, and I'm not one to just put stuff out there just to gain popularity. I'm not one of these channels that post every single day just to gain attention and views, subscribers, and YouTube income. I do want to lead people into the truth. However, I was recently convinced after watching a certain movie I'll discuss later that there is something to this dream, and I did want to share. So please leave your comments below after viewing. 7:51 a.m. March 27, 2016. Had a dream. First started out with I was on my way to for some reason for some reason Bill Burr allowed me to be hanging out with him, but you can tell he didn't really like me, but at the same time he still let me hang out, and I was really just trying to witness to him, and but I was just trying to wait for the right moment because he didn't really believe. He used to believe, but he no longer believed, and so when that's why he didn't really like me, because he knew like he thought I was just a square, and so when I went to his house, he was watching this football game or something, so I'm just coming by to hang out and just wait for the right opportunity to witness, and I park outside of his house, and I'm about to go in, and then I'm like, I completely changed my mind, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna hang out with him. And I even brought over some snacks, whatever, and decided not to go in, and get back in my truck, drive around. And I'm leaving, and then suddenly I see lights start shutting off, like choom, 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 and even the moon shuts off like a light, and just goes all black, all dark. My truck shuts off, and then it shuts off, stops working. So I get out of my truck and I start walking the streets, and everyone's coming outside, not knowing what's going on. Some people were acting normal, they didn't really care what was happening. But a lot of people were thinking, what's going on? What is this? And I had sunglasses on for some reason. Well, before I had some glasses on, and I can see. Right then and there, I heard someone saying, oh, the bodies are glowing, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up, and there's, I can only see through the glasses, there's, there was people being, sucked up, almost like in a Rapture type, cliche Rapture, bodies, glowing bodies going up. And I looked at my skin, and I didn't see my skin glowing. So I was like, okay, I'm not glowing, I'm not going up. But all these other bodies look like they're being suctioned up, and but I can only see them through my glasses. So I went up ahead, and I was just walking, trying to get back to my house, since I ditched my truck, and I even ditched my umbrella, and there's just suddenly the streets were just filled with a bunch of people, and And then there's people talking about, oh, did you hear what happened? But like some kind of news announcement, and it was just like boom. Suddenly, like a lot of people were aware of this news announcement. It was like a headline, and it was announcing this third world country leader that was suddenly, overnight, by some agreement passed, some kind of law passed or whatever, some kind of agreement passed where he suddenly became the most. It was clearly announcing like new person, like some leader of a third world country, suddenly becomes the most powerful man in the world. And it was clearly marking like he was suddenly more powerful than the President of the United States. Like he was clearly like a distinguished above, and it was just like boom, the entire world knew it in this headline, in this announcement, and it happened like at the same time. And I looked at the newspaper, when people were talking about it. I suddenly saw the newspaper, and he looked like that Sid Roth from like Star Wars, that evil guy with the eyes glowing, but his eyes weren't red glowing; they were glowing like just white. But he just looked like just like not human. I mean, he looked human, but obviously he looked like for some reason he was supernatural. And but he was a leader of a third world country. But it was just like boom, overnight announced like the fact that he was the most powerful man in the world overnight. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I need to go back and get my truck, because the power is probably going to go back on or something like that. I don't know why I thought that, but so I started going back to my truck, and then the following days were kind of normal in a sense where, I don't know if the power went back on, but people continued on with their lives, and the news were still feeding, just like mainstream media, it was still giving updates on this new world leader. And he started doing like pretty much like Hunger Games. He instantly arranged some kind of entertainment for the people, and it was like a 3-month games entertainment, and he like arranged it instantly, and people loved it. And I don't know if it was exactly like Hunger Games, but it was some kind of like Olympics, but it wasn't the Olympics. It was a new form of Olympics / Hunger Games / like gladiator type of entertainment for the people. And people were excited about it and looking forward to it. And I instantly thought to myself, like, oh great, like this is just a 3-month distraction, just another propaganda distraction, just like football, while they pass bills and laws or do something shady behind the scenes, and we'll all find out after it's already done, and then we'll have to suffer the consequences. But so yeah, this stream was crazy because it was like all the lights went out, and including the moon. And then I saw people being raptured up like right after that, and then literally right after that, the headlines were like, boom, new world leader becomes the most powerful man in the world. And he was like a third world country guy. It wasn't a Barack Obama, it was just some random unknown dude that no one knew before, and it was just suddenly announced. And then he started arranging these 3 months of Hunger Games type of entertainment, and the world was fascinated by him, like, because they didn't know who he was, but yet he was some great powerful man that the news was talking about, and they were interested in this entertainment that he was arranging. this rapture-looking section of the dream where I could, after the power, all the lights went out and the moon shut off, it was kind of all pitch black. Instantly reminded me of scripture where it says the sun will turn to black, the sackcloth. When I saw these lights, people were calling them lights everywhere that were going up in the sky, and then talking about some glowing. And then when I looked through the sunglasses, I can see clearly it was people going up, but at the same time I thought it was the rapture, and that's why I looked at my skin. I looked at my arms, see if I was glowing. I wasn't glowing, and but a little part of me thought to myself, like, is this an illusion? Like, is this real, or is this, or is this like a hologram, just like they did Tupac at Coachella? Are they just messing with their minds? I didn't see Jesus. I didn't see. It was just people going up, and so I just want to add that. And also, I can only see it through these sunglasses, so that was another strange thing. When this unknown figure of some other country was announced just suddenly all over the world, he was the most powerful man overnight for some reason, I just instantly knew that in the dream that, oh, this is the AntiChrist. This guy must be the AntiChrist. And the world was becoming, like, as soon as it was announced, they're just like the news today. Whenever the news talks about someone, boom, suddenly everyone is fascinated by whatever the news is talking about, whoever's on the news, and suddenly that's the talk of the common people, That's what they're discussing. But I instantly knew that, oh, this is the Antichrist. It was just announced. This must be it. Now, the first image that came to my mind when I saw that picture on the newspaper in my dream about the Antichrist headline was Darth Maul, because I hadn't seen anything from the movie X-Men Apocalypse yet. But when I saw this movie and I saw this character, this Marvel comic character known as Apocalypse, and he's also portrayed as the Antichrist in the movie, I instantly was like, that's the dude, that's the guy, the image that I saw in my dream. And I knew I had to share. Check out a couple of these clips. In the movie X-Men Apocalypse, he's portrayed as this Antichrist figure that comes back into this world, and he calls himself God, and he wants to create a new world. And he reminds me of Nimrod, and how Nimrod is expected by Satanists, and they expect him to come back to life and rule the world. So this character looks like the image of the person in my dream that was instantly known as the most powerful person in the world.
You are all my children, and you're lost because you follow blind leaders. These false gods, systems of the weak. They've ruined my world. Elohim, Shin, Ra.
Elohim, Shin, Ra. I've been called many names. I've been called many names over many lifetimes. I am born of death. I am born of death. There to spark and fan the flame of man's awakening. To spin the wheel of civilization. Needed clearing for new growth. I was there to set it ablaze. There to set it ablaze. I was not there for you, my son, but I am here now. From the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one! Better one!